You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Well, guys, we need to talk about Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith has made no bones about it, guys. He wants to be the highest paid person at ESPN. Now, for a time, he was actually the highest paid person. Then Pat McAfee came along, and then Aikman and Buck came along. Stephen A. Smith really wants to get paid, guys. This man pretty much has been screaming from the hills for the past couple of years that ESPN better pay up. And guys, we all know that Dak Prescott of the Cowboys got $60 million a year. Stephen A. Smith actually tried to compare himself to Dak Prescott. Stephen A. says, hey, we're number one. I'm number one on First Take. Now, First Take may be number one, but it ain't what it used to be. Okay? First Take has definitely went down from 10 years ago. Not even close. But Stephen A. Smith, he has to know that ESPN is a member of the Walt Disney Company, and the Walt Disney Company last year laid off 7,000 people. And guys, that's still laying off people. Over on the ABC side, they just fired 75 people the other day. ESPN themselves actually laid off personnel that was actually in front of the camera. They're not done. It's not going to stop. But Stephen A. Smith, he wants his money. Now, I got to be honest, guys. I'm not mad at Stephen A. for wanting to get paid. Everyone should want that money. Everyone should want to get paid. Stephen A. Smith says he's a capitalist. Hey, I'm fine with that, man. I'm a capitalist too. Get your money. However, that's probably going to be a price, guys. That's probably going to be a price. ESPN may very well pay Stephen A. Smith, but guess what? The people over there on First Take, the people behind the cameras, they are furious, folks, with Stephen A. Smith. You want to know why? It's because, well, their jobs may be on the line. And let's get into it. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, become a channel member, live stream every single Friday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. You guys can also support us by becoming a member on blackandwhitenetwork.com or supporting us on Locals, both for just $5 per month. Check the links in the description. So here we go. Right here, guys. ESPNers angry with Stephen A. Smith over $125 million contract demands, call him greedy, according to report. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say this is all ESPNers, but this is mainly people working at First Take. Now, Stephen A. Smith is also, I believe, the executive producer on First Take. He has the most pull. He's running the show. But these people, man, are very upset because they know their time could be up if Stephen A. Smith gets paid. Here we go, guys. It says here, ESPNers are apparently not happy with Stephen A. Smith during his contract negotiation with the company. Earlier this year, it was reported that Smith had turned down $18 million a year from ESPN in a new contract. This week, Smith went viral on social media when he compared himself to Cowboys QB Dak Prescott when justifying asking ESPN for a $100 million contract during an interview with a boardroom. Quote, this is what Stephen A. said. Dak Prescott just signed a contract for $240 million. He's making $60 million a year and has won 2 playoff games in 8 years. I've been number one for 12 years. In our respective industries, I win. I'm fully aware what I'm worth. But the problem is, though, ESPN is losing money. The NFL, the Cowboys, they're not losing money, man. The Cowboys are worth more than any sports franchise in the world. Now, granted that the NFL actually does have a salary cap, but they're not losing money. ESPN is losing money. That's the major difference right there. And I don't believe you can actually compare a quarterback to a guy that covers sports. You just can't do it. Anyway, says here, according to a new report from the U.S. Sun, employees on First Take are furious with Smith for talking about his contract negotiations in public while they're worried about getting laid off if he gets paid bit money by ESPN. They should. But also, by the way, I said it before too, man, Stephen A. Smith, he should be worried also about losing his job as well. I mean, ESPN is struggling big time, guys. And eventually, let's just say they give him that money. What if in another year or two, they lay him off? It's possible. The layoffs are not going to stop. But right here, this is what they say. Quote, a lot of us are scared that those requests will push ESPN to cut costs in order to give him his money. And that many of us and people from the crew will get rid of when the decision will be made. The source familiar emphasized that they felt Stephen A. earning a large chunk of the show's budget could put people's jobs at risk. Members of the show also invented a new nickname for Stephen A., Mr. Greed, to mock his pursuit of a $25 million per year contract. Quote, we aren't talking only about Stephen A. Smith's request for salary. We also talk about how it will have also consequences on his close circle of guys on the show, the source continued. Well, I'm not surprised, guys. I'm not really surprised. Stephen A. is definitely going to be looking out for number one. Okay? He's going to be looking out for number one. And you guys definitely have a lot to be worried about, man, especially working for ESPN, who has been losing so much money, folks, for the Walt Disney Company. Remember those layoffs that happened, I believe it was earlier this year at ESPN? That was not a part of the 7,000 layoffs that actually happened with the Walt Disney Company. ESPN just said, we gotta make some changes. And more changes are gonna come, guys. It seems like every few months or so, they start firing other people. Remember RG3 and Sam Ponder, they were gone too. And it's continuing. So yeah, if I was these people on First Take, I would be very, very worried about me keeping my job. And Stephen A., man, he's going to get a new contract, I believe. He's going to get a new contract. However, there may be some changes. There may be some changes. Let's just be clear about that. Stephen A. has made no bones about it, man. He wants his money. He wants his money. And I believe, maybe, just maybe, man, I'm not hoping that these people lose their jobs, but it's a strong possibility. You got to be ready for that, man. You got to be ready for that. Maybe you guys want to start looking for some other gigs, man. Because when it comes to that show, I mean, they're probably going to pay Stephen A. first. I mean, these other people behind the cameras and around the show, nobody knows you guys. Nobody knows you guys. But ESPN, yeah, man, I would be worried if I were you guys. I would be very, very worried, folks. But that's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.